Okay, so you've struggled through the tutorials, you've figured it out, and you finally have your brand new Reset Glitch console, or JTAG console, or Reset Glitch 2, or R-JTAG. Any of those would be able to use this guide. This is to help you get FreeStyle Dash, FSD, and Dash Launch installed and working on even the latest 16537 dashboard. I'm going to post a link or a torrent or something to the image, the ISO file of this CD. All you have to do is burn it with any normal burning application, image burn, Nero, whatever, to a regular CD. And then obviously you do have to have a unsigned code console, which means Reset Glitch 2, JTAG, R-JTAG. Any of those, this is going to function. So the first thing we need to do is figure out where we're going to install FreeStyle Dash and Dash Launch. I don't have a physical hard drive attached to this console, so I'm going to go ahead and use a brand fresh formatted 4 gig USB card. So I'm going to insert that into the console, and then on the system itself, it should recognize that I've inserted the device. So there we go, detected storage device. So now when I go into storage, we can see my USB storage device. Now this would work the same if you have a 2 terabyte USB external. What I prefer and recommend is to use the customize option and then to give some small portion of this to USB storage. So what this is saying is how much of this storage do you want to be available to the Xbox 360 for like game saves, DLC, that sort of stuff. Because I have such a small device, I'm only going to leave 1 gig available for that. So the other 3 gigs will be available to FreeStyle Dash for that sort of stuff. In the case of like a 2 terabyte external, you could actually leave 32 gigs available to the Xbox for game saves and stuff. And then the rest of the hard drive would still be accessible to FreeStyle Dash. And that's what I strongly recommend, because you'll want that space for all of the games that require installs and stuff now. So we're going to hit configure. It's going to take 30 seconds or a minute or something to do the configuration. And it's probably going to tell me something about the performance. That happens to me a lot, and these devices still work perfectly fine. If it tells you it succeeded, but the performance isn't quite good enough, just ignore it. It doesn't know what it's talking about, quite frankly. Because you can stream games off of the USB, and it's way faster than streaming them from the disk. Okay, so there's our memory unit with the gig of memory accessible to the console. So now I'm going to go back out all the way to my home, and I've got the disk image burned to a regular CD. I'm going to go ahead and close the tray. So what we should see here is the normal play game option in just a moment. And when we launch that play game, we're going to get the automated installer. Now I've updated this particular installer to be different. It installs the FreeStyle 3 revision 775, which is the latest version or last version. It also has the Dream Theme 1.5 already in the skins directory, so you can modify that. And then it's been updated to Dash Launch 3.0.8. So I'm going to check the box for installing configuring Dash Launch. If you had a physical hard drive that you were installing this on, the hard drive option would appear over select device. Since my only option is the USB, that's all that's going to appear there. So I'm going to go over to and choose the start installing and hit select. And now it's going to take a while to extract all of the files. I'm probably going to speed up this process because it really does take quite a while, especially with the addition of the Dream Theme file that I added in there. It's like an extra 150 megabytes. I just barely got the CD size so that it could be done on a CD under 700 megabytes. So this process of extracting all the files can take upwards of 5 or 6 minutes easily. So just be patient and wait through it. Okay, so we're really close to the end here. This last portion will actually take the longest. These .xzp files are the skins, the default one, and then you'll see the dream theme extract here in just a moment. The way this percentage bar works is it works by the count of the files rather than the actual size or estimated time. So these last two files, this last 2%, will probably take longer than the first 60% did by themselves. So we're just waiting for the final skins to extract and be placed onto the USB. This could be faster or slower for you depending on the speed of your USB drive, the condition of your DVD drive, that stuff. So just be patient. All right, so we finally finished with the extraction of the FreeStyle dashboard, which took the longest. Installation is indicated as complete after it did the dash launch, so now we have the continue button. So we're going to go ahead and hit A for the continue. We're going to be immediately prompted with dash launch. So the first thing that we want to do is go into our path and then make sure that our default is set where we want FreeStyle at. So the USB FreeStyle default.xex is what we want to boot. And then we can press the right bumper to come over to the USB 0 and then press the X button, and you'll see that the launch.ini got written to the USB. The last thing that I like to do is I like to have dash launch actually installed onto the USB so we can make modifications later. So I select the install this, press A, and then I select the USB 0, so it goes right into the root of it, and then I press the X button, and it installs Dash Launch locally to the console. So that once we have that CD out, we could still get back to this screen if we wanted. So when I hit A to quit, what should happen is our launch.ini file will take over and tell it that it should boot the FreeStyle dashboard. Don't freak out if it doesn't immediately boot the first time. Oftentimes I have to actually reboot the console for that to take effect. That might even just be a standard practice. So this time it looks like it didn't. It's going to go ahead and launch the FreeStyle 3. You may have to do a console reboot there. This is taking significantly longer than normal. I might even have to do a console reboot here. Yeah, my guide button is making the noise but not responding. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to power the console off. And then power it back on. And I'll resume the video after I take that call.